Episode 2 of modifying the new Transporter until you guys, the Volkswagen community that is, accept it as one of your own. It won't let me drive it.
I've done something that was supposed to be progressive. I think I've actually made things worse.
Standard suspension with that standard 16-inch wheel with the Continental road tyre on it, it already looks a bit stupid. While this lift kit should be quite exciting, and it is, because I believe this is going to be the first one in the UK with a lift kit on it. Just a bit gutted that the order can't be what it usually would be, which would obviously be wheels and tyres followed by your lift kit. I've just had a team brief from Mitch. If you recognise Mitch walking around in the background, that is because he is the fitter and the face of Mitch Fits here at Transport HQ. I'm very lucky. Before you start ringing up Transport HQ and asking, can you fit this and can you fit that? I am a bit of a guinea pig today because this is the first lift kit in the country. If you have ever seen a lift kit for the older Transporter, you will know, you'll see that there's a glaring difference. This is just a spring, not the damper. So at the moment, we are changing the springs only. In the future, there may be a damper kit available, I'm suggesting. We're suggesting there could be a damper kit coming? Yeah. This is pretty much all there is at the moment. And that, once again, is the story of this van. The parts just aren't out there. Hence why I'm getting a 35mm lift kit, and for the time being, I have to roll around on standard 6-inch wheels and road Continental, boring, driving Miss Daisy tyres.
This is the same process.
So this isn't an install video. There will be one, by the looks of things, on the Transport HQ YouTube channel, or THQ Automotive as they are now. Go check them out, link will be in the description. The reason I'm not doing a lift kit installation video is because this is actually beyond my capabilities. I'm not gonna lie, I am not a mechanic, and I will always say, and I'll always suggest, go to the correct place. Unfortunately, you guys cannot come here and have a supply and fit done by Transport HQ because they're not, in fact, open to the public. I am fortunate in the fact that we've kind of made a pact, me and Andy from THQ. He goes low, I go high. He's gonna do the pretty slam stuff and I'm gonna do the high swamper, get muddy stuff. But I must mention that Transport HQ are supported with an installer network, and that will be in the link below. So if you're stuck for an installer, check that out, because up and down the country there's a big map of England and you can basically drop on and you know that those people will see you good. Learning as we go here, as a bit of a novice, I thought that the spring would be noticeably different in length, and it might be a little bit, but not the 35mm that we're going to get. But what we can see is it's thicker and it's rated heavier, if that makes sense, so it compresses less. So the visible difference, and you guys can see it, is this is actually coiled a bit tighter. There's a few more loops or pigtails, as whatever it's called. I don't know what the professional word is, but look, that is the physical difference. From just being a spectator, the hardest part seems to be compressing the spring so that you can put it all back together. The rest of it, don't want to take it away from you, it's kind of like nuts and bolts, Mitch, I'm not going to lie to you. But that tool, and that would be one of the reasons that rules me out from doing something like that, because that is a specialised bit of equipment, and to be honest, there's more chance of me sending that through next door's building than actually getting the job done.
Watching that, I feel like I could do the rear. I feel like I could do, no, not do the rear springs. I feel like I could do that, definitely. What's nice is that I can finally have a look under here and have a little think about the future. Water tanks, diesel heaters, anything like that. What is really strange, there's a massive cavity all along here and up there. Never quite seen anything like that, not sure what its purpose Oh, I see this side, it's taken up with the step and the door mechanism, which is obviously an option to have twin sliders, but we've not gone for it. Yep, I've ruined it.
What an eventful day here at Transporter HQ. Check that out. Cue some B-roll for a closer look in case there's too much black on black. The rear is best part of 870, so it's about 867 in truth. And the fronts is just over 800. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I can't remember what those initial readings were, but what I can tell you is Mitch measured from a different location, from in fact the bottom of the rim to the wheel arch, because that won't move based on ground and things like that. We have gained 32 mil on the rear and around 22 mil on the front. And remember that this is an empty van. So at the moment, it does in fact appear to be stooping downwards, but it does anyway. All we've done is exaggerated the fact that it's still sloping down. Totally empty. When we add some weight into this is gonna be a full conversion, that will level up. And we know that because 5 blokes just jumped in the back of it to take it to where it might be. And before you know it, we are level. So they're almost lifted a bit more at the rear so that once you apply the weight, you're where you need to be. Mikey and Andy here at THQ just took it for a drive up on some bumpy road. They know suspension more than anyone. It's a lot smoother than some of the lift kits that I've seen and had on the original Transporter or the Transporter before. The Volkswagen T6, for example. Some of them can be a little bit hard. This is sturdy, but still quite soft. That's how I feel at the moment. I've got a lot to learn, a lot more driving to do.
We have been lifted for around 2 weeks now, and I've got to tell you, it drives so good. Some people will say, why don't the suspension packages out of factory drive like these uprated springs do? And I suppose you've got to remember, in essence, this is a work van. The clue is in the title. This is called the new Transporter Commerce Plus. Commerce literally translates to the word trade. It's only us guys that want to either go low or go high or use them every day as campers and enjoy a bit more comfort. That's why we seek out extra suspension packages. 25 mil on the front, close to 35 mil on the rear. My next assumption is in no way sanctioned by EIBACH, Solo or Transporter HQ, but I'm going to go ahead and assume that depending on the vehicle that you start with, so depending on your base vehicle, whether or not it's a T28, a T30 or a T32, I think that will make the difference on the amount of lift that you actually achieve. So I've started with a T32 and I can only assume that my suspension package is that of a higher rating than maybe a T28. I'm not sure. In the interim, we have made the vehicle make even less sense than it already did. The strangest part for me is I'm driving around in what feels like an absolutely fantastic van. I can already picture the end, so in my head I'm driving this really cool van that's got all of these decent modifications, but it hasn't. So now I'm basically just driving around in an even taller black milk float. It's quite a strange sensation. All of these modifications will do full circle and make so much more sense when I can get the parts that I have ordered and the parts that I do want. Once again, driving this van, it does truly knock the spots off of any other van I've driven. The ride with this suspension, smooth. When I go over potholes and lumps and bumps, the van, because it's empty, is no longer doing that thing where it goes ba-boom on the inside. It's fantastic. I can't wait to get the rest of the stuff. And to add to driver satisfaction, I've removed the rear bike rack. So this rear view mirror is now doing exactly what it's supposed to. Check this out. Look how cool that is. So you can hit me with your worst, that it looks like a Ford Transit Custom and that it's built by Ford. But what you can't do is suggest that this doesn't drive well, because now this is genuinely the nicest driving van that I've ever driven.